I don't even know where to begin with the Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts quarterback situation. The Eagles have this quarterback, Carson Wentz, a guy who's been around for a while, who in 2017 was a favorite to win the NFL MVP before he tore his ACL. Carson Wentz has had some really impressive moments in his career, but they have not been recent at all, right? And this year and even some of last year, Carson Wentz had a lot of problems, and this year has been especially very inaccurate. He's been making bad decisions, forcing throws, holding onto the ball too long. He doesn't trust his system. He doesn't trust anybody around him. And the Eagles drafted this young quarterback, Jalen Hurts, in the second round. He's a rookie. I believe he's like 22 years old. He's a kid. I mean, I say that lightly. He's not a kid. He's got the maturity of a 40-year-old. I mean, Jalen Hurts he's Russell Wilson. He's a great leader. He can move around. I really like Jalen Hurts. And the reality is, forget finances for a second. We'll talk about the financial situation in a moment. From purely a football standpoint, Jalen Hurts has to be the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's the best quarterback they have. Against the Cardinals, he was beating man coverage, throwing the ball. That's actually another evolution from his days at Oklahoma. I thought he was very subpar at Alabama. At Oklahoma, he got even better, but I was still wondering, can he beat man coverage? Can he make throws in tight windows when he needs to? And then on Sunday against Arizona, he did that as well. And I went, okay, Jalen Hurts gets better every time I watch him. For 4 years now, every time I watch Jalen Hurts, it's a better quarterback year in, year out, year to year. And, he runs the ball. He runs around very well. He kind of runs like a running back, actually, when he wants to. They run some power runs with the quarterback where they get a lead blocker in front of Jalen Hurts. It's pretty cool. I mean, having the ability to do that really helps you in the running game because you can actually use you don't need to, a lot of time in the running game, your quarterback is a kind of a liability and not helpful. You can have, 5 offensive linemen and a running back, but you really only have 6 people in the running game. You got 5 people to block and a running back. Hopefully you can beat a linebacker one-on-one. When you have Jalen Hurts as part of the running game with the ability to run, he gives you an extra person in the numbers in the running game that really helps the Eagles. So he can run, he can throw, he's making great decisions. He's a better decision maker than anybody gives him credit for. He's very mature. And also, I've been saying this for a while, Jalen Hurts brings the best out of his teammates in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, Arizona, no matter where they play, the teammates on his team play better when he's playing. Greg Ward had a great game against Arizona. Great's a little bit of a stretch, but he had 2 touchdowns, 5 catches, came out of nowhere. And what's the other guy? Alshon Jeffrey suddenly is making plays. Jalen Reagor suddenly making plays. And guys on defense are making plays. People all over the Eagles roster suddenly have hope. There's a spark, there's a glimmer, whatever you want to call it. And the way I attribute it is that people say Jalen gave the Eagles a spark. What does that mean? Jalen Hurts has given the Eagles hope. They have hope for the first time in a long time. My sense is, after watching a lot of Jalen Hurts and a whole year and a half, a whole year and whatever he played before of Carson Wentz, I don't think Carson Wentz is a very inspiring person to work with. Because we've seen Carson got replaced by Nick Foles. They won a Super Bowl. Then it happened again. He got hurt. Nick Foles led them to the playoffs. Now we're seeing Jalen Hurts playing better with the Eagles, and the players on the Eagles are playing better with Jalen Hurts than they did with Carson Wentz. The guys are playing with hope. They believe in Jalen Hurts a lot more than they did with Carson Wentz. Something about his energy, his leadership style, his communication style, something does not resonate with that locker room. It's just true. And, Jalen is the best quarterback in Philadelphia. I think in a long-form way to put it, I think I proved that just now. Now, the problem is, I have tried to do the math every way I possibly can. I sat at my desk for 3 hours, kind of with writer's block, just sitting here, writing through, word for word, every scenario that could possibly happen. Every team, there's not really a situation where you can get rid of Carson Wentz if you're the Philadelphia Eagles. Personally, if he gets moved, I would be shocked because you're not going to cut him. If you cut Carson Wentz, you gain nothing and you lose. It's a zero sum. It doesn't help you at all. You pay Carson a ton of money to not be on your team, and then you miss out on a backup quarterback. It makes no sense to me there. You're not going to trade Carson Wentz because you still have to pay. Trade him or cut him. If you release him or you trade him, you still got to pay him. And so there's no way around it. Carson's going to get paid a lot of money through next year. After the 2021 season, you can cut him before March, and then you save a bunch of money. That you have an out after the 2021 season and the 2022 year in the offseason. But before then, I don't see how the Eagles get rid of Carson Wentz. I don't know who wants to trade for him. Why would you trade for an expensive quarterback who's been inaccurate and made bad decisions? I don't think anybody can justify that, especially not in a year where there's kind of an unprecedented amount of quarterbacks available through free agency and trades and the draft. I mean, so there's so many good quarterbacks in the draft. If you can't find a way to get a quarterback in the first round, you're ridiculous, because you got Kyle Trask, you got Trey Lance, you have probably Mac Jones, you got Zach Wilson, you got Trevor Lawrence, you have Justin Fields. There's somebody else I can't remember right now. There's a plethora of quarterbacks in the draft. Then Dak might be moved. Jimmy Garoppolo might be moved. Matthew Stafford might be moved. There's so many quarterbacks. Cam Newton's got to go somewhere. Unless he stays in New England, we'll find out. Gardner Minshew is on the table at some point. Like, there's quarterback after quarterback after quarterback that gives you more value for cheaper than Carson Wentz. So there's no way anybody would choose Carson Wentz as their first option. I don't buy it. It's not feasible to me. And then even if you want to trade away Carson Wentz, you have to convince somebody to want that contract. So you're probably going to have to include a draft pick, which means you're going to be trading away, a first-round pick, a second-round pick? Literally, so another team will take the contract off your hands, and then even then you're still paying him some money. So it's a terrible business proposition to get rid of Carson Wentz. It makes no sense, and I think they're stuck with him. Quite frankly, I think the Eagles are going to be stuck with Carson Wentz. Now, a report came out, Adam Schefter released it, saying that Carson Wentz was unhappy with the Eagles situation and that he would like to be moved because he wants to be a starting quarterback. And I thought that the media reaction to that was kind of ridiculous and overblown. People were saying, basically, people told Carson to shut up. They're like, if you don't like it, you should have played better, right? And I understand where that emotion comes from. But also, do you not understand where the emotion comes from for Carson Wentz? When's the last time a quarterback got benched and was happy about it? When's the last time a quarterback got benched and was like, yeah, that's a great move? No, it doesn't happen. I've been benched before. It makes you angry because as a quarterback, you have to believe in yourself. It's the only way you can ever succeed is if you think you're it. And of course, Carson Wentz is confident. And of course, Carson Wentz wants to be on the field. I'll be honest, if Carson Wentz said, I don't mind being a backup, I would be concerned. So it's a good thing Carson Wentz came out and said, yeah, I want to play, and I don't like being a backup. Like, that's, as I knock my paper all over the place, we're acting like it's a bad thing. And it's stupid to me. It makes no sense. Of course, Carson Wentz wants to play, and nobody's happy being a backup. I just think that anybody who's mad at Carson for saying that has either never played quarterback or doesn't understand how emotion works, or it's silly and weird. Like, if anybody is going to trade for Carson Wentz, they would kind of hope he wants to play. They would kind of hope he doesn't like being a backup. I thought that thing coming out somehow got a negative reaction, made no sense to me. But again, I do not think there is a quick fix to the Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts situation. And the reality is, I think that Philadelphia is going to have to own the mistake and say, look, we made a mistake. We gave the guy too much money, and we got to gut it out. They got to wait a year. After the 2021 season, in the off season, in the year 2022, after the Super Bowl, then, and I mean the calendar year, so like March 2022, then you can cut Carson Wentz and move on with your life. Until then, it's going to be too expensive. It's not going to make any sense. And I think what you got to do really is sit down Carson Wentz and say, look, Carson, you're not going to play. And either you can have a good attitude or you can have a bad attitude. If you have a bad attitude, we're going to leak to everybody, you're a cancer, you're a problem, we don't like working with you, and then nobody's going to touch you after that. Or you can be here, you can work hard, you can keep your mouth shut, you can stay ready, because guess what? Jalen Hurts runs the ball a lot. Maybe he gets hurt. Then you're the next man up. You got to be ready. We're paying you $34 million. Keep your mouth shut and stay ready. And I think that's what's got to happen. You got to own it. Say, look, we overpaid you. I know that hurts for you to say, but you played like crap last year. But we can't get rid of you. So you're here. Have a good attitude. or quit. I mean, like literally quit football because we're not getting rid of you. We can't afford to do it. Or say, hey, Carson, if you want to renegotiate your contract so that maybe somebody else would want you, we can do that. But if you want the money, we can't get rid of you, and you better have a good attitude. Like, there has to be a conversation behind the scenes. And then I think, honestly, and this will never happen because GMs have egos and people are afraid to admit their faults and then when they're wrong. But I'm crazy radical enough that if I was the person running the Eagles right now, Howie Roseman's the general manager, I'd come out and say, look, we overpaid the guy. We screwed up. And I mean, why lie about it, right? Because we did. I mean, we have a contract with Carson Wentz that is terrible. I would say it to his face. I would say it to you, the media. That's what I would do. If I was Howie Roseman, that's how I would address the situation. And I'd say, look, we can't get rid of him. Nobody wants him. And we're not going to cut him. Makes no sense. We pay a guy to not play for us. So we're going to keep him. And he'll be a backup. And he'll be ready in case he gets his name called. And that's all you can do. Sometimes all you can do is make a plan and gut it out. But actually, when you make a plan, it does make things go by quick. It makes things feel like they're going by quicker because the end is in sight and you know what your next move is. I live in the Portland, Oregon area, the metro area, kind of a suburb. I live in Vancouver, Washington. I hate where I live. If you ever go on the news and listen to anything about Portland, Oregon, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, you don't want to be here. It's not a good... Everything's shut down. I can't even get a stupid haircut. It's a mess. But I have a plan for leaving. I'm going to go get an apartment in Utah. I'm going to get an apartment. It's actually cheaper there. The internet's better, so it'll be better for YouTube. It's prettier. I think, going to be a quieter life. And I want that. I've got a plan. Having the plan makes it feel better so I can wait till my lease is over and then leave. Having a plan for the future has made it easier to know that I'm stuck here. Having a plan for what to do next with Carson Wentz is going to make things easier to gut it out next year if you're Philadelphia. And again, if they can convince somebody to take that contract and trade for him, oh, hallelujah. But even then, I think you still got to pay the guy. So it doesn't really pencil out in favor of the Eagles either way. Another lesson you really can and should learn from this is that, man, be careful who you give a long-term commitment to. That's hiring a coach. That's giving a quarterback money. That's getting married. Everything, right? Be smart. Don't just invest a long-term commitment in somebody who is flaky or who has potential to fall apart or isn't whatever. I don't know, whatever, warning sign there was about Carson Wentz. It makes me think about Dak Prescott, right? If you're not sure, don't give that quarterback a ton of money, right? If you're not sure, don't do it. And it's just Carson's a talented guy who's played badly. Now, one thing I want to say that is it's completely ridiculous. People keep saying that the Eagles cannot afford to have a $34 million quarterback sit on the bench, right? You can't pay a guy that much money and then not make him your starting quarterback. Sure you can. Why can't you? Absolutely you can. What's the goal? Is the goal of Philadelphia to win games? I think the Eagles are trying to win games. I think that, man, it's possible. Jalen Hurts has saved Doug Peterson's career as a coach in Philadelphia. They want to win. And you have to play the quarterback who gives you the best opportunity to win. Not only because you want to win games, also because if you don't, your locker room's going to revolt. People can smell nonsense from a mile away. And if you're practicing with a guy, you know what quarterback is better. Right? Like, everybody knows. If the backup's making plays and the starting quarterback's playing like crap, everybody knows it. Everybody can see in practice that backup guy looks really good. Why isn't anybody giving him a shot, right? You have to play the best quarterback, no matter who makes the most money. And also, a good coach doesn't care who makes the most money. You think Bill Belichick cares who makes the most money? The guy Bill Belichick plays on Sunday is the guy who's best at the job. Across the board. Linebacker, corner, lineman, quarterback, everything. Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback for Philadelphia. He's got to play. And again, I ask the question, are you there to win games or are you there to play whoever's most expensive? You can't play Carson Wentz simply because he's expensive. You have to own the mistake, say, we're paying the guy too much money. He's the most expensive backup ever, but Jalen Hurts is our best quarterback. You have to own it. You're not in the business of playing the most expensive person. You're in the business of winning football games. Jalen Hurts makes it most likely the Eagles are going to win a game. And look, the Eagles have so many problems. They need help on the offensive line. I'd love to see them get another weapon on offense. They need help on defense. They have problems everywhere. But Jalen Hurts is making it work, running for his life, keeping plays alive, getting sacked too much, but at least he can escape some of them. It's not pretty, but at least he gives them the best opportunity to win. Way better than Carson Wentz did. And the one thing is, at least Jalen is making good decisions where Carson Wentz simply did not. So, look, I don't think Carson Wentz gets moved from Philadelphia. I think he's their guy. I think they're stuck with him. The money, like people are saying, trade him. Trade him where? You can't cut him. I think most people simply do not understand the financial ramifications of Carson Wentz's contract and what will happen if you cut him or what will happen if you trade him. You got to pay him either way. You might as well pay him to stay. At that point, it doesn't make any sense to get rid of the guy. And if you can trade him away and save like $7 million, then go ahead, right? But I don't know. I sat down at my desk and penciled it out every way. And it doesn't make any sense to trade him. Every which way, I don't know what team would want him, let alone is it worth the money. There's no quick fix. The Eagles just have to own the mistake, gut it out. Jalen's your quarterback moving forward, and Carson is your backup. And he's the most expensive backup ever. And then after next year, you can cut the guy and move on with your life.